Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and thank you to our friends in Salt Lake who have invited us here, who are here with us to launch the 2025 Municipal Equality Index. My name is Catherine Oakley. I am the Senior Director of Legal Policy at the Human Rights Campaign. I'm also, and more importantly today, the founding author of the Municipal Equality Index. And so this is my 13th launch of the program. I am so excited to have it be continuing, and I'm really, really pleased to be able to be here with our esteemed guests to talk to you about what municipalities can do, are doing, even in this era where things are difficult on issues of equality. The story of this report, this year's report, is really best told with two statistics. First, for the first time in a long time, the average national score fell. The second statistic that's really important is that we have more 100-point scores than we ever have had before. Yes. We have 132 cities who have scored 100 points. And both of those statistics are important because I think it really speaks to the situation that we find ourselves in, that cities across the country find themselves in, where they are facing increasing pressure to walk away from initiatives that protect many different types of members of a community, including but not limited to LGBTQ people. And there are a lot of pressures on cities around the country to roll back those efforts, to make those efforts less visible, to dial back services. And so that's why we see that fall in the national average. But what we also see at the same time is more cities who are leaning in, who are showing their courage, who are showing the creativity, who are showing persistence, determination, and an unwillingness to back down from bullies. And so I am so pleased to say that while the situation remains very difficult for lots of cities around the country to be able to continue doing the work that is measured and celebrated by the Municipal Equality Index, that there are so many wonderful cities, like our friends here in Salt Lake, who have been doing a truly phenomenal job to continue to find ways to respect, support, appreciate, and serve LGBTQ folks in their community. With that, it is my absolute honor and pleasure to introduce Mayor and Erin Mendenhall to talk to you about some of the things that Salt Lake has done to earn this wonderful recognition.
Thank you, Catherine. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I'm honored to be here in front of City Hall for the announcement of the 2025 MEI score announcement. So not only am I happy to be here because of this particular announcement, but I think it's also relevant because this week Salt Lake City is hosting the National League of Cities City Summit. And so we have thousands of elected leaders from cities, towns, and villages across the United States who are convening in our capital city as we speak to talk about issues that face our communities. And this is absolutely a shared local initiative that we are excited to talk about with those partners. In 2019, just before I took office as mayor, Salt Lake City received an MEI score of 66. We only got half points in the non-discrimination category. Municipality as an employer as well, we only had half points, and also half points in law enforcement. When I became mayor in 2020, I knew that we must do better and that we could do better. So we've been putting in the work, and I want to give a shout out before I talk about the work that's happened to the leader in the mayor's office and in City Hall, in my opinion, who's been doing this work, and his name is Weston Clark, and he's standing right over there in his blue and khakis. Weston has taken this on with passion and commitment every single year, and so Weston, I take my rainbow hat off to you. And of course, he couldn't have made the progress that's recognized in this report without our incredible Salt Lake City Council, who has supported so many of the initiatives that we brought to them to say, we can do better, here's a way how. That includes that we began covering gender-affirming life-saving surgery for our employees and their dependents as part of our benefits package. We also documented city practices that we were doing, but we hadn't shown to the Human Rights Campaign, and we made sure that those stayed in place. We included for the campaign's awareness our regular contributions to the Utah Pride Center and other organizations in Salt Lake City that support our LGBTQ plus community. And in 21, our work paid off when Salt Lake City received our first perfect 100 score from the Human Rights Campaign, which was the first 100 score for any city in the state of Utah ever. And we kept that top score for the next 2 years that followed. Dun, dun, dun. And then in 2024, our city's score dropped to 96 points due to a change in state law that was related to access to gender-affirming care for minors. But let me be clear, Salt Lake City is still proud to cover this care and to provide that in our insurance that's offered to our employees. But getting that care in the state of Utah is more difficult for minors. And we know that that is unacceptable, and we encourage and hope that our legislature will remedy that decision that was made at the state level to reverse that decision. However, in Salt Lake City, we are every single day in the business of improving lives of our residents and our future residents, no matter what might happen at other levels of government. That work comes from the heart, and from the heart of our council members who are about to speak to you too. We've continued to do everything in our power to make up those 4 points that we lost, not because of the points, because it matters to keep doing the work, and there's always more work to do. So we had to get a little bit creative. For example, earlier this year, the state passed a bill that effectively outlawed government buildings from flying any flag except one that, quote, represents a city, municipality, county, or political subdivision of the state. Salt Lake City looked closely at how we could abide by the law and still represent our city and our people's values, most importantly. The result was the adoption of 3 additional city flags in May of this year, one representing the history of Juneteenth and our Black and African American residents, one representing our LGBTQIA residents and our loving acceptance of those residents, and another representing our transgender community and our commitment to seeing and celebrating them. On each flag, our iconic sago lily emblem adorns the upper hoist cannon, leaving no question that these are indeed city flags and that they represent our shared values of belonging and acceptance. And just last week, right here at City Hall, on a similarly beautiful day, we celebrated the inaugural raising of the Sago Visibility flag at the beginning of Transgender Awareness Week and in anticipation of this Thursday's Trans Day of Remembrance. And that flag's flying for you today. It flies proudly in front of this building, saying to everyone who sees it, Salt Lake City is here for you, Salt Lake City believes in you, and Salt Lake City loves you. Because in this city, we know that acknowledging and celebrating our diverse communities does not exclude others. In fact, it unifies us. It reaffirms our commitment to celebrating the value of all of our residents, all of our visitors, all of our workers. I said this at last week's flag raising, but it bears repeating. A united community does not ignore our differences, we honor them. In part because of our new flags, I'm grateful to report that this year, Salt Lake City has returned to the top MEI score of 100. Thank you to the Human Rights Campaign for celebrating with us today. Thank you for being here. It's really meaningful to us. And thank you to every city in this country who shows up for their residents, especially your youth, in big and in small ways every single day. Your work is needed and it's valued. To all the Weston Clarks out there, to all the city council members out there who decide to not submit to bullying and to stand up for love, I am grateful for you. Thank you to our full city team and the council team for representing our community so well. There is always work to be done, but we will never stop doing it, ever. We will be creative. We will get 100 again, Catherine. And with that, I'll turn it over to Council Chair Chris Wharton.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I am Chris Wharton, and it's my honor and privilege to be here as the chair of Salt Lake City's Majority Queer Council. And I just want to say good morning and thank you for being here. It's an honor to have representatives from HRC National come and join us here in Salt Lake City. This recognition serves as a powerful reminder to our LGBTQ plus neighbors that you belong here, your city sees you, and we want to protect your right to live authentically. As a gay man and as an attorney who spent many years working on equality issues and who actually started my work in city government on the Salt Lake City Human Rights Commission when we helped create a report for the council to pass the first anti-discrimination ordinance in housing and employment that included LGBTQ protections in the state of Utah. Later that became state law and now is enshrined in federal law as well. As a Utahn and an attorney who has spent many years working on equality issues, that is what is so important to me, to have that come full circle. This score reflects the work that our city and our staff and community members have done every day to make Salt Lake City more vibrant, welcoming, and forward-looking. Salt Lake City has worked to ensure our ordinances and policies do just that. From inclusive healthcare to our workforce and non-discrimination policies that I mentioned earlier, to our LGBTQ plus liaisons and our inclusive public spaces, Salt Lakers can feel confident that we are working to ensure their best interests. Most of all, this score reflects our values as a city: inclusion, fairness, and kindness. And the belief that communities thrive when everyone feels safe and respected. We all know that a score on this equality index is not a finish line. There'll be future years, there'll be changing criteria, but this is a reminder that we need to keep growing, that we need to keep listening and keep protecting the people who call Salt Lake City home. And in a year when so many of our rights have been changed and challenged across the country and here in Utah, this work has never mattered more. To our residents, your city has your back. You deserve to feel safe at school, at work, and in your neighborhood. You deserve a future where you can live fully, openly, and without fear. We're proud to stand with you, and we will keep doing the work to make sure Salt Lake City is a place where you can thrive. Thank you, and congratulations to everyone who helped make this possible. I'm going to turn the time now to our City Council Vice Chair, Alejandro Puy.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today, celebrating our city and this accomplishment. I'm honored to be here among so many of you that have led the work before I even joined the council for many, many years, ensuring that we are here today celebrating this moment. But like you guys said, the work doesn't stop. Those bullies sometimes want municipalities to go back into the closet, and this city is not going to go back into no closet. And we are going to be leading in the state of Utah and across the country on this issue. I'm proud to be part of the majority LGBTQ Council. For those that didn't know that, across the country, we do have a majority LGBTQ council here, and we're proud of it. A majority of the leaders of this city that represent your values are part of the LGBTQ community, because representation matters. And we have to be visible, and we have to lead, even in the face of adversity and toxic rhetoric. As someone that grew up outside the country, I know how it feels to not fitting, and what that does to you, to your desires to be part of a community and improve it. That's why LGBTQ equality is not only an issue of policy for me, but an issue of dignity and humanity. Inclusive policies are key to the success of our community, and there is no sum game here. No one loses by celebrating our diversities. We all win. That's something that right now we forget. Right now we think that because we celebrate one community, some other community is losing something. That is something that we have to fight against. Thank you, HRC, for this recognition, and to every resident that pushed us to build a more inclusive city, Salt Lake City. We're proud for this moment, and we're ready for the work ahead.
Thank you to all three of our wonderful guests. We are available to take questions if folks have questions about the index or about the work that's happened here in the city. So feel free to ask any questions that you may have.
I don't have anything in the Zoom. So.
Okay. Any live questions? All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for being here. Thank you to the mayor and to the city council member and chair. Thank you so much for all joining us today. It is wonderful to have an opportunity to celebrate great work. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.